Hello and good evening. Welcome to my Monday night stream. Right, let's bring the other two old farts in. Who should we bring in first? I haven't named them, but I think it's Micky on this one. I think it's Micky. So let's see who this is. Hey, it is Micky. Say hi, Micky. You didn't say hi, Micky. All right. Okay. 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 I'm not sure if. Hang on. I think that should. I'm not sure whether your audio is going out, Micky, and I can't really check. So say something again.
What would you like me to say, Steve?
No, that's fine. That's going out.
I'm very happy to be here.
That's going out. Good. That's going out. Right. Right. Let's bring Tracy in. Okay. Yes, we did it. Yay. Turn your audio on. Say hello to the people, Tracy.
Hello to the people. The reason that you thought Micky's audio was going funny was because he did a falsetto voice. He was going, "Hi, Micky." So.
Okay. Well, people. What can I say? England football, right? Hey, what a result, eh? Let's get Tracy's view on it. Tracy being of the same gender as let's have Tracy's view first of all. Come on, Tracy.
Well, I bawled my bloody eyes out. We won. We brought the bacon home and we're gonna cook it. We won. But the big thing that I felt yesterday, apart from feeling really proud, was just the fact that, you know, women have been suppressed over the hundreds and thousands of years and everything of the, you know, patriarchy and everything like this. And it's just so nice to be being dragged into equalness. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that, especially a lot of misogynistic men. But I just felt so pleased and proud, and just what it was a good match. I didn't agree with the ref quite a lot of the times, and that was, you know, both ways. It was kind of like, where was she looking? But we won, and yeah, I spent about an hour just crying. So
okay. So that's it, is it? That's your.
Yeah, I can't think of what else. I mean, I enjoyed the game. I jumped up and down when there was a goal, and then cried for about an hour. So it was overwhelming.
Okay, and just to let you know that Reddit has just gone live. I've actually managed to get onto Reddit, so I'm just posting you the link in the group now, so that you can actually get on the Reddit. So hopefully. Micky, your opinion on football, please.
What a fantastic match. Can I just say one thing about the referee? You've got to remember she's Ukrainian.
Yeah, just 1 second, Micky, just 1 second. Yeah, Reddit, listen, guys on Reddit, I know I've got an audio problem with what they're saying. I'm actually working on it as we're talking about it, all right? So just bear with me, because I know I've got an audio problem on Reddit, so I am working on it. Right, go on, carry on, Micky.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you've got to remember that the referee's from Ukraine, and not so long ago she was hiding in a cellar. So, you know, I can appreciate that perhaps she didn't have the best of the games, but I'm sure that there was other things on her mind as well. But as for the match itself, absolutely fantastic. The girls did us absolutely proud. They did what the men haven't been able to do for 56 years. And that's something incredible. Hopefully now that'll be a springboard to push the women's game even further, because even now a lot of the teams in the women's soccer league are not playing in their stadiums, if you like, i.e. Man City won't play in the Man City stadium. My team, Villa, they haven't been playing in the Villa stadium, but they will be. Yeah, just a fantastic. And I don't know if you saw them at lunchtime on the news on the stage in Leicester Square. I think it was Leicester Square. They were in absolutely fantastic.
I think it was Trafalgar Square. Yeah.
Trafalgar Square. Well, one of the squares. Yeah. I mean, you're the bloody Londoners, not me. And to see them gate crash the the press conference where the manager was absolutely fantastic. What a great bunch of girls they are.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was great. I've been seeing sort of bits and pieces on Twitter about I think it was one of the news channels, but there was however many people at the, welcoming them, onto the stage. And lots of comments were like, no, there was only about a handful of people there. There was only about 100 people there. And I'm sorry, I saw it. There wasn't just 100 people there. There was
thousands.
I've got to tell you guys that, have you seen how the German newspapers are reporting the victory? Have you seen that? Because
No,
apparently we've cheated them again. 56 years later, we cheated them again.
Yeah, apparently there's a handball or something.
Yeah, apparently there was a handball very early in the game by one of the England team.
In the first half, that was, yeah.
I think so, yeah, and it was looked at by the VAR, which I love the VAR, by the way, virtual assistant referee. It was looked at by the referee, and the virtual assistant referee decided it wasn't a handball.
No, but
they're crying about it now.
Their manageress, whichever you like to call them, I call them managers because we're all equal now, actually said that the referee should have gone and looked at the screen. But now, if VAR has told them there's nothing to look at, why would they go and look at the screen? I mean, yes, the referee wasn't the greatest, to be fair. She did make quite a few mistakes, but those mistakes were on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Side. She made them for both teams. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was a fair result. I mean, I'd say that being English, but it was a fair result.
Yeah.
I still don't know if the audio is working on Reddit or not. According to my screen, the audio. Right, just let me check. Klein643, they're on Reddit. It says, congratulations to you people on winning the Soccer World Cup. Thanks. That's a bit premature. We didn't win the World Cup. It was the European Cup. But thank you, Klein.
We'll win the World Cup next year.
Klein643 on Reddit says, oh, I see. Yes, the Euro World Cup. Well, no. No, it wasn't the Euro World Cup. It was the European Championships. The European Championships and the World Cup are two different things. And we don't call it the European World Cup because of the fact that it's two different things. It's not like in America where you call everything the World Series, even though only two countries play in it. So our football is quite correctly named as the Euros, the European Championship, and the World Championship. So it was just the European Championships, but it's 56 years since England won a major trophy, and I'm very pleased about that. Andrew Conscious on YouTube said, "What has the jaw pain?" I asked last time and said you'd answer my question. You forgot. I don't recall seeing it. I'm sorry, I must have done. If you're talking about the jaw pain from the teeth extractions, that's all over. In fact, I've got a new false teeth in. I've got my new false teeth in. Yeah, that's probably why I'm sounding muffled. So my jaw pain's gone completely now. I am having a bit of a problem with my false teeth, getting them to bed in, but that's something that's going to be looked at. I can't go back till September because they've got to wait for my jaws to completely shrink.
Klein said, "Why are we allowed to play? Aren't you guys pleased to be rid of the EU?"
Yeah, hang on, Micky. We'll come back. Hang on, we'll come back to Klein. I'm still answering Andrew Conscious. So that if that answers your question, yes. Right. Okay. Hopefully that's answered your question, Andrew. Conscious. Micky, sorry. No, carry on. You were saying?
Klein643 said, "Why are we Brits allowed to play the Euros? Aren't we pleased to get rid of it?" And my point is that we left the European Union. Great Britain is still part of the continent of Europe. Hence, we are still allowed to play in a European Cup. It's not just a European Union thing. It's the whole of Europe.
I feel a bit conned. I feel a bit conned because when I voted for Brexit, I thought we were leaving Eurovision.
Oh right, yeah. What, you think
that's the way I voted.
You think they're going to tow us out into the middle of the Atlantic or something, away from the continent of Europe?
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I thought we were going to leave the Eurovision. I was absolutely staggered to find out we're still in the Eurovision this
that's
year.
even funnier. Why are Australia and Israel in the Eurovision Song Contest?
And that surprises me because they are not in Europe under any circumstances. So that's how it is, yeah. But yeah, that's what like Micky says, Pine 643 on Reddit there. That's if you're talking, Micky, nobody can hear you.
I'm not speaking.
Oh, sorry, it's all right. I was looking on Reddit. I forgot about the lag on Reddit. So does that answer your question, Pine 643? It's purely geographic. We are still part of the continent of Europe, even though we're not in the European Union. It gets really confusing. I'll tell you what really confuses people. I've got a whole list of things here to write down. I'm just going to scrub off the Euros. I'll tell you what really confuses people is that Great Britain, right, is an island. The island we live on is called Great Britain, which comprises of three countries: England, Scotland, and Wales. And then there's the British Isles, which comprises of the island of Great Britain, the Isle of Man, the Isle of Wight, and all of the Scottish Hebridean islands. That becomes the British Isles. And then there's the political entity of Great Britain, which comprises of Great Britain, Northern Ireland. It just gets really confusing that Great Britain is called so many things. But I will tell you one thing, right? A lot of people assume that the name Great Britain came about because of our empire building and our empire, and Great Britain was because we were great. That's not true at all. The reason Great Britain came about is because Britain is the largest of the British Isles. Right? And in Anglo-Saxon days, you didn't say large, you just called it greater. So originally, Britain was called Greater Britain, but over the years, it's been shortened to Great Britain. So it actually means it's the largest of the British Isles. Tracy, do you want to answer that question already?
What Klein saying about what about the island of Cornwall? Klein 643.
On Reddit.
Yeah, on Reddit says, what about the island of Cornwall? Well, are they actually an island? Because to be an island, you have to be pretty much cut off from the rest of the land mass by water. They're a peninsula, and they want to be their own nation. I know that, but I wouldn't call them an island. Would you agree, Steve and Micky?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, they want Kernow. That's what they want. You know, it's Kernow, I think.
Micky, there's a question on Facebook there.
On Facebook from Mr. Boat himself. I'd like to ask panel.
Read the message I sent on Messenger.
Oh, sorry. Oh yes, Boaty well, he's on Facebook, but he's restreaming onto YouTube. Do the panel prefer long handle spoon with a small bowl, or a short handle spoon with a larger bowl? And what's the most unusual way they use? Really?
Finish reading the sentence.
That's all I can see.
Oh, and what's the most unusual way they've used the spoon during a sexual encounter?
Oh. Well, I know about spooning, but it's got nothing to do with an actual spoon.
I'm just dredging my memory to try to remember if I have used any cutlery whatsoever during sex.
No. Strawberries, I normally use my teeth to eat off the line.
Yeah, again, it's not cutlery.
It's not a utensil, is it?
It's not.
I prefer a spoon with a large bowl. I like to get it right in there. I like to scoop out some of that cream and give it a good slurp. It's great. It's fantastic. Just really get in there and just give it a good slurp. It really makes slipping underwear any day of the week.
I don't know.
But that's just me.
Well, to answer the question, I think I prefer a small spoon with a large bowl because I like to savour it. I'm not one of these people who goes big spoon in two. Oh, that was lovely. I like to savour it. My sister would agree. She likes to be able to enjoy slowly. So that was for all the cutlery fetishists out there.
Yeah, the only other reason I use, if I'm watching cricket, I actually prefer a long-handled spoon with a small bowl because that is much easier to poke my eyes out with. So that's only if I'm watching cricket. If I'm forced to watch cricket under any circumstances. My partner Sean tried to engage me about cricket yesterday. She was talking. I was driving down the M6. And she said, "Oh, shit, one of my relatives is going to see the 2020 cricket in the Commonwealth Games." I nearly had an accident where I fell asleep. Just the sheer mention of it, and I was drifting across lanes. I really hate cricket. Right. As you know, we like to face. I've got a whole long list of things here. Did you do a crib sheet, Tracy?
I scribbled something down, and you've just reminded me. So let me just see if I can find it. You carry on.
Right. Anyway, to discuss the important things, right? This is a really important question, right? This is one of life's big important. Does pineapple belong on pizza, Tracy?
Yes. Yes, definitely,
Micky.
because it just for the explanation, is because it's a burst of sweetness that offsets the savoury, usually saltiness. So you get more flavour from the savoury because of the sweetness.
No.
So
No.
we work on ejaculation.
No.
Yes, if you eat
All right,
pineapple before,
then get rid of the saltiness.
if you eat pineapple in advance of having oral sex, your ejaculate tastes amazing.
Okay.
But don't have a mental ictus, for God's sake. That bird. Pineapple on pizza? No, not for me, thank you.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it's a fruit. It belongs in a fruit salad, not on a bloody pizza. I
Take
like
the
a bit of
tomatoes
ham,
as
bit
well,
of
then.
pepperoni. What?
Take the tomatoes off as well, then, because tomatoes are fruit.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. I know you're being pedantic, aren't you?
They're fruit.
I'm being correct.
I love. It's called an Hawaiian. I love pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, yeah. I can't say I haven't had them because I have, but I'm not really keen. I'd rather have a bit of pepperoni, bit of ham, bit of spicy beef, you know. Not a bloody pineapple.
I'll tell you where else it should go, right? You know the pineapple rings?
Oh,
One of
I
those-
like them. I
One
like
of
them on
those
gammon.
in a double cheeseburger is heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I like
Egg,
gammon, pineapple, and
cheeseburger, pineapple.
I
Absolute
see.
heaven.
You see, Micky just said that you like it with some gammon.
gammon, pineapple, and an egg.
That is exactly the same concept as having pineapple on a pizza, because you're not usually going to have pineapple like with spicy beef. Some people would, but you usually have it with like a ham and something. So it's like if you've got gammon, pineapple, and chips, then basically that's almost the same, but on a pizza if you have a Hawaiian.
But I don't like it on a pizza. My stone baked base with my tomato and my meat on it. That's all I want, thank you. I don't want none of a few jalapenos.
You don't have to have dessert if you have the pineapple on the pizza. All in one.
There is that. One course instead of two, I suppose.
Yeah. Bit of cheesecake instead of mozzarella.
Yeah, you don't realise, Micky, that gammon and ham come from the same animal.
You're kidding me.
No, they do come from the same animal.
Do they?
Yeah.
What about bacon?
That comes from the same animal as well.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So of course, we say I like pineapple and gammon, but I don't like it with ham. No, what the fuck?
No, I don't like it on a pizza.
Okay.
A pizza for me is meat. It's not fucking fruit.
Oh.
Well, like Tracy says, what about tomatoes?
What about tomatoes? I know they're a fruit, but you've got to have that for the base to stick your cheese to. What else are you going to use? Golden syrup?
On pizza is quite nice.
Oh.
I actually have golden syrup on Yorkshire puddings.
Oh, they're lovely.
That
Lovely
is
drizzle
another thing. Right, okay.
side of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's okay, that's we've discussed those. We discussed that great thing there. Let's look at some questions. We've got none on any of the platforms. So we've got Klein 643 on Reddit there asks, what did you guys do at the weekend? Well, in my case, the reason I didn't stream on Friday is because I went up to Manchester the weekend. I had a family do, well, not my family, my partner's family had a 50th wedding anniversary celebration, so we went up to Manchester to celebrate that. We went up Friday night and came back Sunday. We stayed 2 nights because Manchester from here, it's a long drive. It's 255 miles, which by American standards isn't a long drive, but when you're like me, quite seriously ill, it's a long drive. It's a 6.5 hour drive. So we decided that I couldn't make it there or back in one day. So we went up there on Friday, stayed the Friday night, had the family do on the Saturday, then stayed the Saturday night and came back on the Sunday. So that was my weekend. Tracy.
Yeah, my weekend was obviously Sunday was yesterday was the match final, you know what I mean, the Euros final, so yay. And so there was a bit of drinking after that, just generally by myself. What the hell did I do on Saturday? I drank iced coffee. I'm totally bonkers about iced coffee, and I did my Tesco order. No, latte. It's one of these, look. It's these. I've got a bit mad about that. Starbucks Cafe Latte chilled coffee. And so I did my Tesco delivery order, and I ordered so many that they turned up in that. So I thought I kept that. I wanted to show and tell you guys that this is really delicious, and I like it that much. So yeah, so that's what I did on. I went to Wetherspoon's pub for a burger, so that was very nice.
Micky.
Saturday night we had my niece's 40th birthday barbecue, where I imbibed far too much wine, and then we went on the Jaeger shots, which. Very silly for somebody of my age, trying to keep up with the youngsters. But yeah, a good night. Sunday, got up with a bit of a head. That's a hangover for those who don't. I watched the Formula, or no, I didn't. I'd lie. I didn't watch the Formula One. I listened to the Formula One on the radio, which finished just in time for us to watch the Euro final, which is how I spent my Sunday. With a visit to Asda thrown in the morning.
I used to watch the Formula One quite religiously, but I just really not interested.
On to Sky and you have to pay for it. I won't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, originally, when I first took out Sky, I got it free because I had one of their packages. Then they decided to take it out of the package and start charging. So I don't watch it now.
I'm just laughing at Boaty, right? I can tell you, right, that Boaty has written out this really, really long post, right? To post in the group for us to discuss, and YouTube has truncated it to just the first 250 characters.
Yeah, I'm looking that. It cuts off after they sell them in brine, but I've heated them, and then he's posted again. I can't be responsible for that.
Yeah, no, you can't. So I'm just laughing at all the effort he put in posting that, and we can only see the first 250 characters. Sorry. So I will tell you what I'll tell you what the question was. Is I would like to ask the panel if they had a hot date with their fantasy sexual partner while their partner was visiting a terminally ill relative, and it was on Sunday, and their bath night was on Sunday. Would they have an extra bath that week, or just a good swipe round with a warm flannel? I don't have
baby wipes. Just a quick rub of the pits with a baby wipe. That'll do. Huh? Spray the brute on. That'll do. I'm done. I'm ready.
Oh dear.
Well, you asked.
I haven't had a bath for 5 or more years now.
You don't need one though, because you've got that special toilet that Jason wants.
It only washes my bum. Don't wash the rest of me.
Yeah, but that's the
idiot sticking my head down in, wouldn't it? I only washes my arse after I've had shit. No, I've got in my downstairs toilet. I've got a shower as well. Obviously, it's a toilet. I've got a shower. And my upstairs bathroom was converted to a wet room last year, so I've got a shower upstairs. Prior to that, we had a bath in there, a bath and a shower up in the upstairs bedroom bathroom. But I don't like baths. I can't understand why people sit in dirty water.
I love a bath. I love a soak.
I
See, our shower is over the bath, so I can have a soak in the shower, and you stand up and you wash all the sludge off. It's great.
I love a bath. I would totally miss it if I had to swap for a shower. But I'm not one of these people that sits in the bath and like, lovely glass of wine, rose petals and candles or anything. No, my whole aim of a bath is get in, wash, get out.
No, it soothes my back pains, to be honest. I have the water as hot as I can, and I'll lay in there for about half an hour because that eases my back.
Oh yeah, now if my knees are particularly bad, then I'll do that. Especially like if I get up in the morning and I'm all seized up, I get in the bath, a nice warm bath, sometimes with magnesium crystals added to it, and that really helps. And now I can straighten up again. I'm like, I can walk now. Yeah. That really does help. But I'm not a bubble bath person. I'm not. I try to use as little soap as possible, really, and people think, oh, that's disgusting, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's natural. I'm not only bathing once a week. I bath pretty much every day. So all I'm doing is just washing off what I've accumulated that day.
I just can't stand sitting in dirty water. So that way I prefer a shower every day of the week. I love a shower.
But you go to the swimming pool.
Well, when I go swimming, when I go to the swimming pool, Mickey, I go swimming. But when I finish swimming, I come out and I have a shower. I love the shower and I have a shave in there. Yeah, I don't. Nobody else does that, right? But I actually have the shave.
How many people in that pool that you've been swimming in haven't had a bath that morning?
Yeah. How often is your bath full of chlorine?
Huh?
Well,
mine is quite often.
The water comes out and we tap. So yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I sit there in my bath, especially around, like if they've cleaned the tank on the roof or something, because it's a communal tank, or if they've just added too much chlorine to Thames water. But sometimes I can run a bath and I'll go into the bathroom and I'll be like, oh my God, it smells of bleach in here.
Yeah. I mean, we got really hard water down here, really hard.
Yeah, we've got hard water.
A kettle will last me 6 months.
Okay.
Anyway, can you turn me off a moment, Steve, please?
You want to go on the smoke? Right, hang on. I forgot which one you were, Mickey. That's you. Yep, you're off. You've gone. Right, okay. I don't like Mickey smoking on air. It's one of those things. It's not a rule, but I know that YouTube frown on people smoking. Right, let's just go through some questions here. Again, we've dealt with Jason's on Facebook, because unfortunately YouTube truncated it to 250 characters, so most people will have missed his witty prose. So, as I keep saying to you, Jason, less words. All right, you've got to use less words. You are the only person I know that when you need to say something that requires 6 words, you use 6,000. Right? Try and a little brevity. With your next question, try a little brevity. You've got 250 characters. It's easy to do. Just try it. Let me just go through some of the Reddit ones there. What did we do? That's brevity, Jason. That's brevity. Jason on Facebook says fewer, not less. That's brevity. That's also being pedantic.
That's correct.
All right. And it's the sort of thing that makes you want to hit somebody, When it's like when you're in real life, right, and they say, and you're talking like that, and they say fewer, not less, you just want to smack them you want to punch them in the throat for saying that. I don't, because I'm not a violent person, but it does make other people punch people in the throat. Right. Some questions. Client643 on Reddit says, is the British barbecue mainly pork chops? No. My barbecues consist of burgers, sausages, bacon, steak, pork chop, chicken. Anything that you can cook on a grill, I will cook on a barbecue when we have a barbecue. I think Mickey is the same. Yes, I know. It's we're not like Australians. We don't throw shrimps on the barbecue. I must admit, I've never cooked fish on a barbecue. Never cooked fish on a barbecue at all. So I generally talk about my barbecue. Tracy, you can't really indulge in a barbecue conversation, can you? Unless you have one on your balcony, do you?
Well, But no, I haven't got a balcony, but there's a lovely communal garden downstairs, and occasionally they do barbecues. And I was going to say, I've never been to a barbecue where pork chops was included at all, ever. The staple for barbecues that I've been to have been burgers, sausages. My dad did fish once, and it was terrible because he didn't use a fish cage. It just all fell down the slats into the coals. But sometimes there's potatoes in foil that you put actually in the hot coals. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So literally, I've never seen a pork chop at a barbecue. It's always been burgers, like beef patties, and sausages.
Yeah. Pork medallions. Yeah, right. Okay. Pikachu Gang on Reddit says old people are really cool with this, but we know we're really cool, don't we? Yeah, we do. Right. Okay.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it's cool to be old when I get there.
Yeah. Someone the other day told me I should act my age, and I thought to myself, well, how the fuck does that work? I've never been this age before.
We just got to. Well, you're 62. I was actually going to say, what have you got to sit there and go dribble or something? But I've never known a 62-year-old to do that anyway. So.
I used to see you when I watched your porno.
Yeah, that's different. What with the spoons?
Yeah, we're back to the spoons again, aren't we? Yeah.
It's a spoons kind of evening.
9643 on Reddit. Yes, I bought a case of Budweiser the other week, and in the case is 20 bottles. So I'm just finishing off that case. Once I finish off the Budweiser, I will go back to having some beer. Pikachu Gang says she's on Reddit. Says she's not a bubble bath person. Blasphemy.
I really am not. I stopped using bubble bath in my bath I was about 20 years old. I kept getting like skin conditions and stuff, and they said try cutting out bubble bath, and it helped. So I don't. And also, what I find now, because I am getting older, I find that bubble bath just makes things very slippery, and I really don't want to be one of these people who start having falls. So not yet, anyway. So.
Can I just let Jason on Facebook says, obviously we can only see your torsos. Which panel member do you think is most likely to have touched themselves inappropriately during the broadcast? Now, what he's actually saying is, I don't have any female companion. I haven't been laid for weeks now. I'm getting very frustrated. All right, so you've got to understand that he's not actually saying what is visible here. The man is very sexually frustrated, and he's not getting laid.
He should have been watching last week, because I genuinely wasn't wearing anything below the waist. So
yeah, you missed out. I'm not wearing anything below the waist now, and I find myself touching myself quite appropriately. It's not inappropriate at all. I quite enjoy touching myself.
What is an appropriate touch below the waist anyway?
I don't know. I'm quite enjoying it.
I mean, Micky's doing ASMR by the looks of it.
Oh, a reach around would be great.
Rusty trombones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
I think Micky wants to be turned on again and not in the.
Oh, Micky wants to be turned on, does he? Right, hang on.
He turned me on, mate.
He's ASMR.
Okay. I just want to explore now. We've explored the fact that the Boaty, Jason Accuse, who we know is Boaty on Facebook, has not been laid for a little while now, and it's coming across in the way that he boasts. Now we've explored that. Let's go back to Pikachu Gang. Says Pikachu Gang on Reddit says smoking on air is kind of my thing. Pikachu, do you want to come and do you want to clarify that? Explain that a bit more when you say it's kind of your thing. What you mean by that? Meanwhile, Klein 643 on Reddit says, what are your guys' thoughts on an Aussie senator calling the Queen a coloniser during her oath-taking ceremony in Australia? I'm on the coolest step on that one, Tracy.
I have no idea. I didn't hear it, so I don't know.
I didn't hear.
I don't think the Queen actually colonised anything.
Yeah, so
I didn't hear it. I didn't see it or anything. I mean, perhaps going back to Queen Victoria, which was the Queen's great great grandmother. So he was obviously wrong, because the Queen didn't colonise anything. Yes, her family did or would have done or whatever. But my history is not that good to be able to sit here and give you any kind of proper full opinion about it.
But you see, he's asking about the Queen being a colonised. Don't forget that the Brits colonised where he is now.
Yeah.
They are. Without us, he wouldn't be there now, would he?
Unless of
Not just
course,
us, but the Dutch, the Spanish, and actually the Vikings were there before any of us. So.
Well, I was going to say, unless of course he's from, what is it, indigenous people? Yeah.
One of the indigenous people.
Yeah.
Well, you could be.
I also say I've heard nothing about it. But
No.
I'm sorry, Klein, we can't discuss it because we honestly have no idea what you're talking about. But what I will do in a minute is I will Google it just to see what we're talking about. It's obviously not a news story that was familiar to us. But then saying that, quite a lot of the stuff that you've had, quite a lot of the things you said have actually been amalgams of different things about England that you thought were about this country, which aren't quite like the island of Cornwall. There's no island of Cornwall. And things like that. So I'm wondering if you've actually made a bit of a mistake there, and perhaps you're confusing one thing with something else because it's not something that we've heard here at all, Brian. So I can't actually answer that question. Meanwhile, Jason obviously now he's been busted over his sexual shenanigans. Is now asking a serious question, and the question he is asking on Facebook, Jason there on Facebook is asking, do the panel agree that you shouldn't be allowed to eat Chinese food unless you use chopsticks? Well, that's a double negative. So the answer there is either yes or no, Jason. Do you want to rephrase that into English that we can actually understand using fewer words, please? Right? So if you can actually rephrase that into English and not have a double negative that can either be answered.
I'm sorry,
yes or no.
pedant here. Where's the double negative?
Sorry, it's not a double negative. It's I'm not going to Google it. I forget the exact phrase, but he's answered a question which can either be answered as a yes or a no.
Oh.
If you look at the question, do the panel agree? Yeah, it can either be yes or a no.
No, I don't agree. I use a fork. But then again, I'm civilised.
My answer is yes, and it's also no, because that's how he's phrased the question.
Well, yes, there is that, yeah.
I don't agree. I think you should be allowed to eat whatever food you're eating in whatever way is your way. Because I love Indian food, but I know that certain areas, I'm going to get this completely wrong now, but I know certain areas of South Asia will, because it's not, I say Indian food, but a lot of the food that we class as Indian isn't actually Indian. And a lot of places will eat using their hands and just using a bit of bread to scoop it around. Now, if that's how they want to eat Chinese, I don't care. I'm going to use a fork for Chinese. I'm going to use a fork.
Long-handled spoon.
For what?
Not a long-handled spoon.
It's actually called a polar interrogative or a bipolar question. That's what it's called. A polar interrogative or a bipolar question. So it's a nonsense question that he's actually phrased quite badly. However, I'll tell you a story. Back in 2012, I was in Korea, and the people I was in Korea with, they took me out to a meal, and they said, "Do you want to come out for a traditional Korean meal at a traditional Korean restaurant?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm familiar doing that. I want to do that." Because I like to explore, when I go abroad, I like to explore the cultures completely and immerse myself in them. So we went to this restaurant. Now, a traditional Korean meal consists of kneeling on the floor. The table is only about that high off the ground. You don't have chairs. You actually kneel on the floor to eat. And the table is actually packed with lots of little dishes, little tiny dishes, and you take your pick for each one. So the table was set out, and the restaurant came out, and they started putting all these little dishes on the table there. And sitting in front of me was my bowl. Because what you do is you pick from each dish and you put it in your bowl. My bowl and a set of chopsticks. And my interpreter, right, there's a little story there. My interpreter, right, he was introduced as my right-hand man. And I spent the whole week cracking up about that because I tried to. His English was good, right? But he couldn't grasp. And I said, "You do understand that a right-hand man in England isn't what you think it is." And he said, "No, what does a right-hand man in England do?" And I said, "Well, he uses his right hand." He said, "To do what?" And I said, "To replace your right hand." He said, "Well, what do you do with your right hand that needs somebody else to do with your right hand?" I thought, I can't have this conversation with you because I'm going to end up offending you, right? But he was my right-hand man. He said to me, he said, "Do you want us to go out and get a knife and fork?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, the restaurant doesn't have any knife and forks. It's a traditional Korean restaurant. Do you want us to go to the shops and buy you a knife and fork?" I looked at him and said, "No." I said, "I'll struggle with chopsticks." He said, "You sure?" And I said, "Yeah. I said, "I'll give it a go, right?" So we started the meal. I've got the chopsticks. I'm picking it up. I'm putting them on plate. He said, "You can use chopsticks." I said, "Yes." He said, "But you said that you've never been to Korea before." And I said, "No, I've never been to Korea before." He said, "But you're using chopsticks." I said, "That's right." He said, "But you said you haven't been to Korea. Have you learned since you've been here?" I said, "No." "You asked me if I've ever been to Korea before." My answer was no. Ask me if I've ever been to the Far East before. "Oh," he said, "so you've been to other countries?" "Yes, I've been all over the Far East when I was younger." And he said, "So you're good with chopsticks, are you?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "Well, over here, this is acorn jelly." He said, "Can you pick that up with chopsticks?" He said, "Because only experts with chopsticks can do that." I said, "Yeah." And he sort of laughed with all the other crew and said, "He's not going to do it." And I actually did it. Not only did I cut off the portion of the acorn jelly, but I picked it up with the chopsticks. Because the trick is, with acorn jelly, you don't actually use your chopsticks to grab it. What you do is you put your chopsticks closed, stick it in the jelly, then open your chopsticks, hold the jelly, and then pick it up. And I absolutely amazed him. So I always, whenever I'm eating Chinese or Far Eastern food, I include Thai amongst that. Thai, the Korean food and things like that. I will always use chopsticks. If the restaurant doesn't have, if the chopsticks aren't on the table in a Chinese restaurant, I will ask for chopsticks. I prefer to use chopsticks. I learned when I was out in the Far East, and I'd like to keep that skill maintained. So my answer to that polar interrogative question is, yes, you should always use chopsticks. But then I, that's me. My partner can't. My partner, she can use chopsticks after a fashion, but she prefers to use cutlery. So when we're in a Chinese restaurant, she'll have cutlery and I'll have chopsticks. 2643 on Reddit says maybe the news was censored censored in Britain. I don't think it was censored. I just don't think it was that important. I don't think it was any sort of news story at all. It's a nothing news story, you know. An Australian senator calling our Queen a name. You know, what's new there?
Mm.
You know, there's nothing new there. It's bring something to the table that's new. There's nothing new there. Well, that was that question answered. Pikachu Gang Gang hasn't got back to us about smoking on air. I was curious about that when he did smoking on air, was this kind of thing. I'm a bit funny about smoking on air bit because I don't smoke. Tracy doesn't smoke. And we are in the. I'm not a reformed smoker, but at the same time, I don't want to give the impression that smoking is legitimate and smoking is okay. It's not. It's a filthy, disgusting habit, and it's the British killer. It's the biggest killer in this country. And I wish everybody would stop smoking, but I'm not gonna push that agenda other than insist that when Micky's smoking, he goes off air, which I think is it's not an unreasonable request.
Yeah, we don't want to be glamorizing smoking with Micky looking so cool about it. So
yeah.
He looks freak.
I don't want to be seen smoking, to be fair.
Right, Micky?
I said I don't want to be seen smoking. It is a disgusting habit, but it's a habit I've got, and
yeah,
you know.
Right, Olivia's Moon on Reddit asks, have any of you heard of Extinction Rebellion? I have. Micky?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Tracy?
Heard of them, run into them, run away from them. I agree with their thing, but sometimes some of the actions are quite extreme, and I know that they would say, well, because what's happening in the not atmosphere, you know what I mean, global warming and everything is extreme, and we have to do stuff. But you know, blocking ambulances from getting sick people to hospitals, especially in this time of having 3 or 4 hour waits for an ambulance when you're having heart problems and stuff, is just, yeah.
I dislike the way they brought the centre of London to a halt, and I
Yeah.
believe an offshoot of Extinction Rebellion is the Insulate Britain is an offshoot of Extinction Rebellion.
Yeah, yeah. They're all the same bunch of clowns, to be fair.
Yeah.
Whilst I agree with the sentiment, I don't agree with the way that they're going about it. I don't think by shutting down people and blocking people is the way to go about it. I mean, lobby your MPs, protest outside Parliament, but I mean, there's nothing we as a normal public can do about it. So why should you be, you know, stopping us from going about our lawful business? Absolutely terrible.
I've got. Sorry, Steve. Hold on. I've got a brilliant example. That during one of the protests, they were going around slashing the tyres of what they said were like gas guzzlers and that, and they picked on electric vehicles.
But the question is, if any of you remember, if any of you are a member of Extinction Rebellion, right? I've got a question for you. My question for you is a simple one. How did you get to the demonstrations?
That's a good
Precisely that.
Yeah, that's my question. So if Olivia's moved, if you're a member of Extinction Rebellion, can you answer that question? How did you get to the demonstrations? Right. Randy and the Randalls. I love you too. Randy and the Randalls on Reddit says, "Love you guys. You're my favourite stream." Well, I love you too, Randy. You're one of my favourite viewers. I'm ignoring most of Jason's questions because they're nonsense, but we might.
Can I just answer the one that Jason says on Facebook? What's the panel's view on the elasticity of underwear?
Yeah,
and I want to answer that. You know, I've got such a big bottom that elasticity is very important to me, and I make sure I pick underwear that includes lycra so that I can get them on and they stay on, and I take them off and they don't stay being massive, great big tents.
Can you twerk?
I've tried. I arthritis. It's all very stiff, and I've tried. You know where people twerk and they do the bum clap.
Yeah.
Can't do that. You would think I could. I've got mass going. I've got Australia going on behind here. I just can't. I can't get it going. So.
You got to be joking, haven't you? You want me to put my back out?
Yeah,
exactly. There'd be a loud crack, and I'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I can't twerk either. So yeah, I don't wear underwear, so that doesn't really come into it. So I told you I'm naked from the waist downwards. Keep telling people this, but I don't actually wear underwear, so that it really doesn't matter to me.
Bamboo underwear. That's what I wear. Bamboo.
Oh, what are they like?
Yeah, what are they like?
Good. They're good. They are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very airy. You know, they
stops everything from sticking everywhere else.
Yeah, they do. And they're not as heavy as boxers. Cotton boxers are so thick and they make you sweaty around the old nuts there. A lot cooler to wear these bamboo ones. They're a bit more expensive, but you know, well worth it in my opinion.
Right, Time 643 on Reddit says, "Do you guys think Boris Johnson will knife the next Conservative leader and will come back as the PM one day if he's not too busy at a party?"
Oh, there is that, yeah.
It all depends how busy he is at parties. I know.
Well, yeah, he could be spending time with his secretary again.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not supposed to know about that, are we?
No, there's an injunction out that says about that. I noticed that Boris hasn't invited the England football team to number 10 to celebrate, or really said anything apart from congratulations. I mean, other prime ministers
didn't say no, we couldn't have a bank holiday because of it.
Yeah, other prime ministers would have wanted to get in there and get their face.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me word this correctly because I'm going to be very careful. Other prime ministers would want to get their personality all over the media publicity. I nearly said get their face all over the girls, but that would be, that wouldn't have come out as I said it. But
That's what
they
he
would have
probably
wanted to jump on the bandwagon, wouldn't they?
I don't think he'll come back. I don't think the Conservative Party will have him back as PM.
I can't wait for him to go.
Oh.
I
He should
don't
have gone
think he'll be back. I don't think
I've
he'll be back just because of how he's gone, and
Yeah.
it's really unlikely that disgraced or resigned or whatever prime ministers do come back.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned about which of these two clowns is going to take his place because, well,
Oh, you mean the bondage equipment or the rich guy?
yeah, that's it. Both of them, yeah. I mean, the bondage equipment. I mean, she's probably the better choice of the two, but.
To be honest, I haven't really given it that much thought because it's out of my power. I'm not actually, although I vote Conservative, I'm not actually in the Conservative Party, so I don't get to vote on them.
The 6th of September, I think we'll find out. So
Yeah,
we'll just have to wait.
far away.
Loo time for me. Loo and top up. Back in a minute.
Okay. You
No,
forgot
she
to
was
twerk.
I've got to practice.
Boris Johnson might have been recovering from his wedding ceremony from the weekend, said Klein643 on Reddit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he was at a wedding ceremony.
So he was at another party.
Probably, yeah.
So Boris was at another party, right?
Yeah.
While the most important football match in 56 years going down, Boris was at another party. He seems to go to a lot of parties, doesn't he? Especially when there's important things going on.
But they're not parties, are they? They're work gatherings, Steve. Come on. This is what we're led to believe, is it not?
Yeah. I can't wait to get rid of the bloke. The bloke needs to go. He really needs to go.
I can't understand. I mean, you might have somebody said he was a failure as a mayor of London, and yet they actually voted him to be the prime minister of the country. I can't understand why they did that.
No, it beats me, to be honest, Micky. It beats me. It is a strange one, but what can you say? What can you say?
Well, they knew he was a liar. I mean, he's sacked from 2 newspapers for lying.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so I just don't understand.
I've read an interview. I read an interview a couple of days back. Not into an article he posted some 11 years ago saying that something along the lines, I can't remember exactly, something along the lines that too many third-world countries have leaders that are hanging on long after they've passed their best and they should go.
Yeah.
And of course, he was talking about himself. He didn't realise he was talking about himself.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. And I agree with you, Klein643 there on Reddit. He must really like alcohol to stake his premiership like that. Especially if he came off the dead after the COVID infection. Yeah, I mean, that's the defining thing about his premiership. It will be he will be forever known as partying. People are dying. I mean, I will not forgive him. But during the COVID lockdown, the first lockdown in 2020, husbands were separated from their wives, mothers separated from their sons, fathers separated from their daughters. Families were not allowed to see their dying relatives and say the final goodbye. The person dying of COVID had to die alone in hospital, not surrounded by their family. And I think that is absolute tragedy. While this was happening, he was partying, and he won't. I can never forgive him for that. I think that was absolutely disgusting. And he says we should draw a line in the sand, under that and forget it. Well, if you were kept away from your partner who was dying in hospital with COVID, can you honestly forget that?
No.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is partying. while you're heartbroken, he's partying. That's unforgivable. That to me is why he should go. He should really go. So yeah, he doesn't. Right, come on, Tracy, have you got a quick? Did you say you did?
I had a scribble down of some random things. I'll choose one that's vaguely more interesting than the first one I thought of. Random things to be banned from Facebook for.
Okay.
Now, random things.
I'm going to have a piss or is that it?
Random things to be banned from Facebook for. Now, for example, my sister, or banned or told off, or whatever. My sister got told off for during the pandemic. I know it's still going on, but during the lockdowns and things like this, you had to be careful what you posted on Facebook regarding fake news and that. And there was some kind of jokey thread or something, and you've probably seen this thousands of times anyway, but there was a jokey thread where someone said something like, is this The Cure? And my sister posted a picture of the group The Cure, and said, no, this is The Cure. And she got told off by Facebook for it because it was fake news. And it's like, no, it's not fake news. This is actually The Cure. So, what did I scribble down? So there was a time, many years ago, that I posted a picture, and it was a t-shirt that had a bum hole, a bottom hole, a butthole, like on it, but like really, really, really close up. And I'm talking 2009 that I posted this. I got told off and warned that I would be banned if I did it again for posting sexual content last year. So it took them from 2009 to last year to tell me off about this.
Yeah, you posted a sheriff's badge and they bollocked you for it.
Yeah, no, but it was like a t-shirt that had a really, 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 really close up. It was adult content. It wasn't sexual content. Nothing was being done to this, and it just was.
Nothing wrong with a chocolate starfish.
Exactly. So I wondered if anybody had been told off, not just Facebook, Twitter or whatever, for some random rubbish that you go, what? Why am I getting told off for that?
I got banned for a day from Facebook back in 2017. Mm-hmm. I was on holiday in Mallorca, and my partner was sunbathing topless, and I posted a picture of her sunbathing topless, and I got banned for a day for that.
I must be a good boy because I've never been banned or warned. Some of the shit that I post.
Whereas you've got Jason, right? You've got Jason, right? Who right? He's probably he's asking all the ridiculous questions, right? But what I can tell you is, right? Jason was the most banned person on eBay's forums, right? He must have had at least 30 IDs banned, right? And he would come back with another one the next day and come back. He would constantly come back with all these new IDs, and he could never work out how everybody knew it was Jason, right? It was easy to work out because he used 6,000 words, only 6 would do, and that's how you could spot it was one of Jason's IDs. But the man was banned more times than I care to remember. I think in the end he was banned permanently. And I think he's served a couple of large Facebook bans already. I saw the other day that he'd come out of a ban. I'm not sure whether that was a 3-day one or a week one. So he is a very banned person on Facebook. And you can see from the level of his questions, I think he's gone now. Nobody watching it on Facebook. I think he's gone now. So he was one of the most banned people. I've got to mention that. So yeah, Micky, what about you? Yes, from me, dog. I will get you in a minute, all right?
Yeah, I was just going to come to that.
All right.
I've never had a ban.
Hey?
I did get kicked off Q&A a few times. Went back on E&A on for most innocuous things, really. Probably half of them I can't remember really, but I think I was friends with what was his name now? I can't remember now.
Henry?
No, not Henry. Came after Henry.
Oh.
Give us a bit of a clue, Micky.
He's a moderator on Q&A. I can't remember what his name was, but I had a very good phone call from him once.
Wasn't James by any chance, was it?
Yes, James.
Oh,
That's
James,
the one.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it was such a good. I had a lot of time for James. He actually rung me up once and asked me what the problem was when I was having a bit of stick on there, and actually gave a couple of people a lifetime ban.
Huh.
Well, they were lying in a private group that you could have in back then. They were making all sorts of stories and lies up about me and how I had 6 IDs and I was posting this and that. I've only ever had one on eBay. I've only ever had one. But he was ever so good, James was.
That's what I used to find weird about the eBay boards, was that everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was the last. I was always the last
exactly.
to know.
Yeah.
So there'd be all this bubbling, I think there'd even been scandal about me and I had no idea until
exactly that.
like 6 months later. Oh, you know when that happened? Well, that was because, and I'd be like, why didn't anyone tell me?
I only found out because a mutual friend of mine and Steve's, who's now passed away, she PM'd me and told me what was going on.
Yes, yeah. That would happen with me as well. That would happen with me. Yeah, good friends and stuff. Good friends have gone, and that's a shame. Isn't it? You're talking about Suzanne, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about not Dolly. I was talking about she went on and did the radio show. Oh, I can't remember.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah. Rosalie.
Rosie. Yeah,
yes,
Rosie.
that's what I meant. Rosalie. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Met her a couple of times. Bloody great giant tortoise she had walking around in the house.
I've met more than a few times.
Oh Christ!
I've met her much more than a few times. She lives just around the corner from me, Christ.
Yeah, she said, "Micky, can you just pick this tortoise up and put it outside?" Well, bloody hell! That thing, that was huge, and it just used to wander around and do its own thing. That was quite funny.
Right, Micky. Just let me do the figure. Right, we've got nobody watching us on YouTube. Nobody watching on Facebook. I guess Jason's got fed up with that. And we've got 3 people watching us on Twitch. We have, however, got 10 people watching us on Reddit. So let's take some questions from Reddit. I think you were going to refer to one, weren't you, Micky?
Yeah, I was on Reddit there. Yes, from me dog. How do you grow tolerance for people in general? I find myself generally disliking everyone. Does it improve with age? Well, to answer your last bit, yes, I think it is, because I was an angry young man due to my background. I didn't like myself, let alone other people. But over time, I think having a family and then growing up and having grandkids, you tend to mellow, I think. Yeah.
Maybe?
I think it's definitely a mellowing. I used to want to be liked when I was younger and everything, and but it didn't work. No, so even people that I didn't like, I was trying to get on with. So now, if I don't like somebody, I'll tolerate them. I'm able to do that, but I'm not going to try to be their best friend or whatever. I'm not going to bitch about them behind their back either. I mean, I can't be asked with all that crap.
Carry on, yeah.
Just let them get on with it because it's their life and it's not bothering me. I'm going to get on with my life. So I think it does. I think with age comes patience, and tolerance, but also a kind of acceptance that it is okay to not like someone and not bother about them, not let them live rent free in your head.
Yeah, I'm fine with people. What I can't stand is stupidity. Stupidity and naivety. I cannot stand that. And there's one thing in particular about the internet that I cannot stand. It's people that use Wikipedia and Google searches to try and answer a question that somebody else has post. We had one today in one of the groups that I moderate about copyright, and the guy was going on and on about copyright, and I thought, you're talking shit. You have no idea what you're saying. All he was doing was he was doing a Google search, and he was reading the Google search back without actually understanding what the words meant. And I thought that is stupidity, and that is something about people that I can't stand. If you don't actually know what you're talking about, don't try and bluff. Because when you come across somebody who does know what they're talking about, they know who they're bluffing. It makes them look like a complete plank. And I just can't stand stupidity. There are some people that are so single-minded, tunnel vision in their stupidity. It's unbelievable. Now, I run a dashcam group, ukdcf.com. If you wanna join it or look at it, it's a group for posting UK dashcam footage. And some of the things that go on in that group really absolutely amaze me. And I've taken to calling it, instead of calling it the highway code, I've taken it to calling it the my way code. Because a lot of people drive on what they think the rules are, as opposed to what the rules actually are. Ah, Micky, you should have said you were going to go. You screwed the screens up.
You were busy talking.
Yeah, you could have said. I would have heard you. Right, okay. And it's called the my way code because they drive that way, and it's that level of stupidity amongst people, and they won't be convinced otherwise. It's like one of the big issues that really winds people up in this country is middle lane wankers, right? People that drive in the middle lane of a motorway or a dual carriageway. Okay? In the UK, it differs from country to country. In the UK, we've got a very simple rule: we drive on the left, right? And that means on motorway, if lane 1 is free, you drive in lane 1. You only use lanes 2, 3, 4, etc. for overtaking. If it's clear, you drive in lane 1. But they don't. They sit, and I posted a video today on my Facebook of cars doing that. It's like electric cars or slot cars, right? Yeah. It's fucking unbelievable, right? They're doing 65 miles an hour in lane 2 and lane 3. And I'm doing 70 miles an hour, which is legal speed in lane 1. And I'm passing them, and they're beeping at me like I'm in the wrong. And I'm thinking, I'm in the correct lane. And it's a very simple rule. If you have somebody passing you on the left, you're in the wrong lane. And these people would not have it. And it's like the other problem we have with this stupidity amongst people in the group is merge in terms, right? There's something about the British that we actually like to queue. We really like to queue. And when you see a road narrowing going down from 3 lanes to 2 because of road work, right? People will get into the queue early. And then if somebody goes down the open outside line or the open lane, they'll swear and they'll curse at them. They'll even pull out and try and stop them from going. But the rule is the lane is open until it's closed. So you can actually drive in a. If the sign says the lane closes in 400 metres, don't pull in now. You can actually drive that 400 metres until the lane closes and pull in. But if you do, my God, you get so much grief from the people being fast doing it. And every time this comes in the group, this always comes up as a question once a week. The merging term. They really don't understand merging terms. The Americans, it's zip merging. That's what I can't stand. It's not people. I just can't stand abject stupidity and tunnel vision. I think that answered your question on that one. Let me just go. That was from get that guess from me. Tracy, did you answer? You did, didn't you?
I did.
You did, right, okay.
Yep.
Let's check there's nothing on any other platform. 5643 again on Reddit says, are you guys religious, agnostic, or atheist? If religious, what kind? I would class myself as a quizzical agnostic. Tracy?
What's the difference between agnostic and atheist?
Yeah, I've got no idea.
I think it's.
Hang on, you carry on.
Go on, you look up on Wiki. I'm vaguely spiritual, but I don't believe in a god.
Hang on, Tracy. An agnostic, a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence of nature of God.
I'm an agnostic then.
Yeah.
I believe in Mother Nature and the universe.
An atheist is someone who doesn't believe in God, while an agnostic is someone who doesn't believe it's possible to know for sure that God exists.
Oh, I'm somewhere between the two there. Somewhere between the two. I don't think that there is a God. I don't think there is a God that controls us and, you know, strikes us down because we're bad and naughty and takes us to heaven and Jesus if we're good. I think the idea is that we just make each other's lives happy when we're on the earth, and also make sure that the earth carries on flourishing, and, you know, we work. Yeah. Huh?
You're an earth mother.
Yeah. That's I believe, you know, Mother Nature, and, you know, there are reasons why women have periods like once every 28 days. It's all to do with the cycles and the moon and everything. So I feel very connected to the universe. I am. That's what I would. I'm a pagan with a lower p, with a small p, because I wouldn't say that I was a practicing pagan or a witch, or I don't do. I was going to say spells. I don't mean that. I don't do rituals or anything like this. But I really am. I try to be connected to the earth, and I try to enjoy the rhythm of the seasons and of the days and think. Yeah, I mean, obviously there are times that I'm just like nah, but generally I you know, I like trying to connect with the earth, connect with the sea, stuff like this. So yeah, pagan with a lower p.
Yeah, I'm let you.
Otherwise, he's going to carry on licking that microphone, and people are just going to wonder what.
I'll let you answer. Go, Micky.
Well, I think I'm an agnostic because I don't believe in God, or I don't believe in a higher being. But I can't believe. It's quite different.
Okay.
Can't understand how the Big Bang Theory would have worked, because something's got to come from somewhere in the first place. So yeah, but I don't believe that it's one guy up there making man and woman. No, I don't believe that.
Thank you for the follow, OP41 on Reddit. Carry on, Micky.
But no, I don't believe that it was one guy up there. I mean, one guy. Where is he? You know, was he sitting on a cloud or something? I just don't know. I don't believe in that. But I don't fully understand. You know, but certainly I don't believe that there's a single being up there that created this place. No. So I am agnostic. No, carry on.
I'll come back, right? When I said I was a quizzical agnostic, right, I'll explain to you what that means. You know how some people find crosses on people's front yards and set fire to them, yeah? I do that with question mark. Because when I say quizzical agnostic, right, I refuse to believe until I see evidence otherwise.
Yeah.
And a little test of this is quite simple. Go up to somebody in the street and say, if I told you there was a man in the sky that looked after everything, what would you think? Just think about that for a minute. They'd look at you like you were nuts, wouldn't they?
Well, I want some of what you're smoking, mate.
Yeah, exactly. But that's basically what really. And I could Google it, but I'm not going to. But I believe it's Clement Freud, the famous Austrian psychiatrist, and he said that religion has exactly the same symptoms as a delusional psychotic episode.
Oh,
do you not think? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm quite open to it. Do you not think that way back in the day that religion was used as a way to control people?
Oh yeah. That's pretty much what it was, especially when. Sorry, but when you got the I think it was the King James Bible.
Yeah.
That came out. That's cut out a lot of the actual scriptures and things that should be, you know, and most of the female scriptures have been ignored. I think there's only maybe one or two in there, but there was actually loads more, and it was just all put in to try to rule and not rule them. You know, it was like the basis of law, rule the people and keep people under control. So yes.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah.
I think back in the day, religion was just there to make money.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It is.
I think it's there to make money because the higher up in the church you go, the richer they appear to be.
Well, don't you
It's,
think? I think I'm right in saying that the Church of England is one of the biggest landowners in this country.
it is one of the big landowners in this country. No, you're absolutely correct. It is one of the big landowners in this country. Micky. So it's funny. So does that answer your question? I mean, none of us actually believe. I'll say that I'm not closed to the possibility, but I would need some scientific proof. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I don't subscribe to this argument. That a lot of religion comes down to a simple thing, right? Is they say, well, the fact there is no proof is proof that he exists. Well, the
Yeah.
fact, right? I want proof. And the proof I want is I don't want rumours about he sent his son to us in 1,000 years ago. Which reminds me, right? Why does Jesus look like a white Caucasian yet he landed in Israel?
yeah, exactly that.
How does that work?
Yeah.
1,000 years ago, well, Israel wasn't a state then, but 1,000 years ago, the population of that area was mainly black.
Yeah.
So how does that work that this white man with a ginger beard land and everybody suddenly follows him? I don't subscribe to any of this, right? I need to see physical proof, all right? Not these things that are claimed miracles, right? I actually need to see physical proof, something that cannot possibly be explained away by science.
Oh, but Steve, the Earth! The Earth is a miracle.
The Earth is just evolution, right? There's a theory, right? Micky said about the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is that everything started with a Big Bang and exploded outwards. Well, I'm like Micky. I can't. There's another theory. I can't fathom you've got one lot of nothing over here and another lot of nothing over there, and then two lots of nothing hit each other and cause a big explosion. You cannot make something out of nothing. There is another theory that was very popular in the 18th and 19th century called the steady state theory. And what the steady state theory is a very simple one. It has always been. It will always be. It never began, it never ends, it just goes in cycles. And to me, that is the most logical theory to explain away everything that there is, right? Okay, to me, it's a very logical theory from some being in the sky looking out for us, right? The steady state theory is it will always, it has always been, and it will always be. And that I know seems to be a concept that we can't wrap our minds around. But remember, 400 years ago, they couldn't wrap their minds around the concept of electricity, the concept of radio waves.
But I can wrap my head around. I can wrap my head more around, as it always has. It will always be. What you were saying. I can get my head around that more than there being literally nothing crammed into this tiny space, but yet massive. And then boom, there's literally nothing, and boom, there's the Big Bang, and we've got everything hurtling outwards and crashing into me. It's just like I can wrap my head around that there has always been a perpetual thing. That makes more sense to me than boom, here we are.
When it comes down to it, right, basically the steady state theory, if you want, I'll try and condense the steady state theory into one thing, right? The steady state theory is that the universe, right, is in a steady state, that it's constantly replacing everything that's been destroyed. So if the star blows up, then another star is born to replace it.
That makes sense.
It has always been, it will always be. It's like life.
Yeah.
It's always been, but as we progressed, we've, following Darwin's theories, we've adapted to our circumstances, which is where we are now. Why we can't grasp how life began is that's probably because it's a concept out of our understanding at the moment. Again, I'll refer you to two concepts 400 years ago that would have seemed like miracles, like radio, right? Just the ability to talk to somebody thousands of miles away without wires or anything else, right? Would have 400 years ago would have just absolutely you'd have been treated like a god if you could do that. And the same with electricity. Yet these are things that we take for granted every day now. And before everybody says radio's a bit old-fashioned, let me just point out that's how your sat navs work. All right? That's how your airports work. Okay? So, radio is not old-fashioned, it's modern technology. That's how your cell phone works. It's basically a radio. So these concepts of somebody 400 years ago would have been try and explain a cell phone to somebody 100 years ago. Try and explain it to them without getting arrested. So I think that the origins, the beginnings, is a concept we haven't quite got to grips with yet. But we will get to grips with eventually. So I subscribe to the steady state rather than the Big Bang or God created the universe. Does that answer your question? Klein 643, I'm ready. Right, let's have a go.
Randy says the Big Bang was his parents in their bedroom.
Was he there?
Well, he was shortly afterwards, apparently.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, if I knew what ontological was.
Descartes was a French philosopher from about the 1800s. I'm going back to my university days. Christ almighty. Most people would do that to me. I mean, I went to university, right, and all I did most of my university time, like 3 years I spent at university, was mainly doing off my head on galleries or fucking anything with a pulse. I didn't actually learn much, but I do remember that dualism. Descartes proposed dualism. I'll tell you what his most famous thing is. I think, therefore I am.
Oh, really? Was that him?
Yeah, that's it. I think, therefore I am. Which have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that film, Dark Star?
No.
I've never seen the film Dark Star. It's a parody, it's a satire, where these space crew go around blowing up planets with intelligent bombs, but one of the bombs malfunctions on the ship, and they actually have to go and talk to it to try and stop it from exploding.
Oh, no, I haven't, no.
It's a film from the 60s, Dark Star. I haven't DP it. It's actually a very good film. But the crew, actually, in the end, one of the ending scenes, this guy, the actor, Slim Pickett, is surfing this bomb down to the planet. And this bomb has decided to quote Descartes. I think, therefore I am. And the bomb has decided it's alive, and it's only got one job in life, and that's to bring life. So they're trying to talk this bomb out of exploding, but it decides it doesn't want to be talked out of it. It decides it's going to explode. So that's Descartes. But I don't know what ontological means, guys. Hello, handsome man 727 there on Twitch. Hey, how you doing? That's all I know about Descartes. I think, therefore I am. And he did come up with I'm sure it was dualism. I'm sure it was Descartes.
I've heard the I think, therefore I am on Red Dwarf. I think it may have been the very first episode. Yeah. And anybody who knows Red Dwarf will know what I'm talking about. Bear with me if you don't know Red Dwarf. It's a comedy sci-fi that started in about 1988, 1989, and it's become a cult. Anyway, there's what happens is there's a stasis leak which kills. There's a stasis leak which kills the entire crew, apart from one guy called Lister, and so that he doesn't go mad, like 3 million years in the future, they bring, or 3 or 6 million years in the future, the ship computer brings him out of stasis, and he's the only human left alive. And to stop him going mad from loneliness and being by himself, they bring a hologram of one of the crew, who is a most annoying, anal, moany, but really, loves being part of the crew member called Rimmer. but he's a hologram, and he's trying to get his head around the fact that he's a hologram. And so he reads all these things, and he's going, I think, therefore I am, like trying to make himself feel real and human again, because he can't work out why he's not human and why he still has feelings and things. So it's a good series. Oh no, multiple seasons they've had now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're into comedy, sci-fi, you don't even have to be into sci-fi, honestly, to enjoy this.
I think Descartes was one of the biggest. I touched on it earlier. Descartes was one of the people that proposed the theory that the fact that there is no proof of God's existence is proof that God exists. Politics was real Reddit said, there's do you guys like the show Unequal Contact? No PA?
JT,
Money back?
no guarantee.
Rich
Black
or
or
poor?
white,
Black
rich
or
or
black
poor.
or white? Rich or poor?
I don't think
Real
rich
prices
like
and a straw. God bless Cookie
Cookie
Street.
Street. Long live
Cookie Street. No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, no, me neither. Yeah, Only Fools and Horses is one of those classics that really stood the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that I think I'm not alone in this is the fact that when they became billionaires, that's where it should have stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the subsequent ones afterwards. No, millionaires, sorry, because I'm remembering the last line, this time next year we'll be billionaires.
Yeah.
When they became millionaires, they should have. That's where it should have stopped and let us dream about what stuff that they got up to after that. Not bring them back as in they've lost all their money. And I can't remember any of the storylines of any of the episodes since that, apart from one where they accidentally pick up I think it's an illegal immigrant, and all he can say is Gary. That's the only thing I can remember of the subsequent series. So, but. Loved it before that.
The early ones were the best, I think.
So we would. So Unequal Horses was a classic. I love Unequal. I think I've probably seen every single episode, and I do agree. It went on longer than it should have done, but it was great. It just worked so well. My favourite character was actually played by an actor called Roger Lloyd Pack. And he lived in the same village that I live in, and he's dead now. But he lived in the same village that I live in, and he was a well-known character in the village. But his character was Trigger, and my favourite episode was Trigger's Broom.
Oh, I was just thinking that when you said it.
Trigger's Broom, right?
Okay. 20 years.
Yeah. Trigger, basically, what was so special about the show? Like Trigger was telling everybody that he just had an award for being along the certain road through the, and he was saying he was really proud of his broom, and he'd had this broom for like 30 years. And Delboy said, "Well, you know, how have you had your broom for 30 years?" He said, "Well, I've replaced the handle 7 times, and I've replaced the head 11 times, but this broom has never let me down." And they were trying to explain to him it can't possibly be the same broom, and he never got it. And he always used to call Rodney Day.
Yeah, that's so funny. And the there's is it where they toast? That was it. Where I think it was where they it was either the wedding, Rodney's wedding, or where they've learned that they're millionaires, and they toast anyway, and they go Delboy and Rodney, and they go Delboy and Rodney, and then at the back all you hear just a split afterwards is Trigger going Dave. Fantastic.
Didn't they have a spin-off with Boise and his missus as well?
Yeah, Green Grass.
That's it.
That was pleasant because it was nice. See that worked for me more than the Delboy
millionaires. Yeah.
Yeah, because what should have happened is they should have become millionaires and buggered off. And then we could have had the green grass, which then explains what's happened to Boise since. Yeah. And, you know, kept the references to Delboy and stuff like this. But that worked for me more because it wasn't Only Fools and Horses. It was a standalone, its own comedy in its own right.
I like that, to be fair. That was quite funny. Mind you, I liked him. Mind you, the funniest bit, I think, is where he fell through the bar. That must be the funniest scene I've ever seen.
Oh, and triggers
The
reaction
classic
like,
voice comes up.
you're cramping my style, you're cramping my style.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to.
Yeah, I see.
put,
I don't know
suspicious.
what he's talking about.
No, I put him down as suspicious usual, but we
Yeah.
won't see his chats anymore. So
Because I'm
that's
looking,
his-
I'm
that's his
looking at I'm looking at our stream, our pictures, and I can't see what he's actually talking about to put anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
I can, but that's he's restricted. That's fine. Let him get on with it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Klein 643, what was so special about the show it became such a big hit is it actually wasn't a big hit at first. I think for about 2 or 3 series. What actually happened, now, I may get some of this wrong, but from memory, it was something like there was, it sort of bumbled along, not being particularly successful, and then there was a strike on ITV or something. So everybody watched BBC One, saw Only Fools and Horses, loved it. And another series got commissioned on the top of that. I think that was like series 3 or 4 then got commissioned. It may have been 2. And then people just warmed to it because the characters were so real. And but also there was absurdity, but it was real. Like people in real life have absurd things happen to them. And also it was John O'Sullivan who wrote it. He'd written successful comedies before, but this one he drew. I mean, he always drew on real experience, but this one he just nailed it. They were real people that you could meet down the pub. You know what a pub is, like an English bar.
Could be, but they were an exaggerated personality of it, weren't they? Really. Probably several people rolled into one.
Yeah, and you had all the different. They were all very, very different. You know, you didn't get like two Del Boy type people, and they were all just trying to sort of struggle through. And I think also it came at the right time. I think it started in the late 70s, so it was Thatcher's Britain, Margaret Thatcher's Britain, where people were struggling and trying to just get a leg up, you know, a foot up the ladder and things. But then it was very, very funny and very well written. So I missed all that, Steve.
Sorry, I was busy banning him. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't see what the other ones were.
No, believe me, you didn't miss much.
While
I was working out, I've got a feature on the Twitch called Suspicious User, which isolates his chat, puts him into a special area where only I can see it. So I thought we'll see what's going on here while I'm working out whether I ban him or not. But his chat went downhill from there, so I've just banned him. Done it easier.
Can I just rattle on again? Because Klein 643 on Reddit has said it said legged, but wheeled car was very unique. The thing is, here in the UK, it wasn't actually very unique because
I had one.
Yeah, no, he had one, but
I had one.
Oh, you had one. Oh,
Yeah.
you had one. See, what that was.
Donna wouldn't get in it.
Now, now, if I remember rightly, you only had to have a motorbike license to drive it,
Yeah.
But also, it was classed as a mobility vehicle, so anybody disabled would be able to drive it without having a full car license and have their wheelchair in the back. So the joke there was that Del Boy is trying to act like he's like, the big I am, and you know, trying to get on in the world and doing all this wheeling and dealing, but he's driving around in a disabled van, disabled car. So yeah, it made it very unique, especially the fact that they picked yellow for the colour. If it had been like,
remember the old blue disability cars way back in the day?
Sky blue.
Yes, all of them were the same.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Around about sort of, I don't know before this, but 70s and 80s, you would see 3-wheeled cars quite a lot here in the UK. And so that was part of it, that Del Boy had this, instead of he should have had a Mercedes or a BMW, you know, the way he acted in that. No, he had a 3-wheeled disabled van.
Exactly that, yeah. Yeah, I did have one, but the wife refused to get in it. That was fun. I mean, I used to work about a mile from my house, so I just used to use it for running backwards and forwards. Yeah. And I had an Opel record that I used to use other times. So
Yeah.
that's back in the 80s now.
But that was the good thing, is because we were saying you only had to have a motorbike license to drive it, but also
I worked in a bike shop at the time. Motorbike shop.
But also it would cost less if I thinking rightly, cost less in MOT, petrol, tax, or insurance, stuff like that. So it was safer than a motorbike, but it wasn't quite a mini car.
They weren't very good in the snow, I'll tell you
I
that.
can imagine.
Because when all the snow piled up in the middle of the road, you had to get the front wheel either side of that lump, otherwise you all over the road. It was fun because I was young, but
Good memory.
But yeah, it's very funny. Horrible things to drive. All made out of fiberglass as well.
Oh no! Oh,
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, all made out of fiberglass.
They used to be nicknamed plastic plugs.
That's it.
They used to be what? Sorry, Steve.
Plastic plug. 3 feet of plug.
Yeah.
You plug into the wall. They were nicknamed plastic plugs.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the shape.
Yeah, no, I've got it now. It sounded to me like he said they used to be nicked to make plastic plugs.
Oh, yeah. No, they were nicknamed plastic plugs. It just that's why I thought of Hunter's work. It's Del Boy trying to be the success and never quite making it and always fucking up somehow, right? And Rodney was the sensible one who was always trying to steer him right, but couldn't quite do it. And there was Grandad or Uncle Albert. I preferred Grandad to Uncle Albert, who was the family matriarch who couldn't quite get it right. Because the only Fox and Horses worked on so many levels. And I found it to be hilarious. I really did. The only other TV show I found it funny was Fawlty Towers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, classic.
Classic British comedy. I only did 12 episodes, that. And
say,
only ever show 11 episodes on TV now because we're in the political correct.
They were the Sherman one, will they?
Oh, that one, the one that you're talking about. Obviously, I'm not going to repeat it, but I really like that episode.
I did.
Because no, I still do, because I know that there's offensive language used in it, but
don't mention the war.
John Cleese himself, and it's not about it was the major. It was the major's bit. John Cleese himself actually said that there was the juxtaposition between this younger guy, Basil Fawlty, and Major from the old, shoot 'em up wars and everything.
Yeah.
Just showing the absurdity of being able to just use language like that when it feels so difficult to explain. But Major was not trying to be offensive, but Basil Fawlty is clearly shocked and offended, and it was just that it just highlighted how the old school language cannot be used.
I think what a lot of people don't understand, it was Micky taken out of us, not being offensive to the others.
Yes.
But people couldn't grasp that.
Yeah.
And that's why they thought it was offensive, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
They were actually taking the Mickey out of the British people,
yes.
the way that we are.
Self-deprecating is the phrase you're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah, but I don't use big words.
And I think that had they just had the Major having his blah 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 to receive cricket and all that kind of stuff, if they just had the Major talking to another Major type person, that would have been offensive.
Yes.
The fact that it's Basil Fawlty going, oh well, it was however long ago, let bygones be bygones type thing, being really kind of uncomfortable. Basil Fawlty is us in that. That is us reacting to this quite sort of racist or offensive language that this old school man is saying. I'm not going to say it, but my granddad used to use certain words for people that he'd been within the army. Not me, he wasn't in the army, the RAF. And to hear it as a young girl when I was in the 1970s was still quite shocking. But he would use that type of language because That's what he knew.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so difficult to explain, and I know what I mean.
Just changing the subject very slightly. BSE, right? He's got the original FTs on DVD uncensored. I have as well, somewhere, Andrew, as well. So I've got episode 12. I've got the missing episode, which is not my favourite episode. My favourite episode is the one where he beats his Austin 1100 to death with a branch.
Gourmet night.
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
Oh, yes, there was a question that I wanted to ask you, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, because you brought it up a couple of times sort of on Facebook and things, well, quite a few times sort of in the past. But you know when you got a ban or a telling off by Facebook for impersonating somebody?
Yes.
Who the hell, my question is, who the hell did Facebook think or accuse you of, who the hell did Facebook think you were impersonating?
Myself. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, right? I'm serious. Facebook accused me of impersonating somebody that broke a world record and appeared in the Guinness Book of Records.
Right. And it's you.
It's me.
What did you do to get out? Like, you know, excuse me, it's me.
In the end, I had to prove it to them by sending them off all the proof that I actually was the same Steve Woodmore. I just couldn't believe it. And they actually restricted my account, right? I couldn't post, I couldn't do anything publicly, right? And they restricted my account because I was impersonating somebody else. And even after they sent the proof, even after they agreed that I wasn't actually impersonating anybody else, I was actually the same person, they sent me a message saying, well, don't do it again.
So basically just don't be yourself ever again.
Exactly.
Don't pretend to be yourself ever.
They really did. They really did accuse me of impersonating myself. Because there was somebody famous or infamous with the same name as me.
Oh my God. Yeah, because that was still part of the like Facebook tellings off things. Because I'd written it in big capital letters because I think you've mentioned it this week or something. I mean, because there was one time that I got told off and threatened with a ban. Another time, and again, it was like years later, I got told off for saying back in something like 2017 or something. But I got told off like last year, basically for saying, "Oh my God!" I put "OMG, it's Christmas next month," and then a shocked face, and I got told off for I think it was spreading fake news.
Well,
And
you should post it in February, should you?
yeah, what? Oh no, it was spam. That was it. It was spam because to keep community safe from unscrupulous sellers and that. And I'm like, I put, oh my God, it's Christmas next month, and I posted that November, obviously 2017, because I suddenly realised like, oh my God, it's Christmas next month. But then it took them 4 years for them to tell me off.
Can I just sorry. Name OK423 on Reddit says, what are you guys talking about? Whatever you want. The subject is bouncing about all over the place. Tracy's keeping a note of it, yeah? When I do the VOD tomorrow, I'm sure Tracy will give me a long list of what we spoke about.
I will
so
indeed.
I'll add it to there.
Questions?
That's your job. That's your job, by the way, Tracy.
Yeah, I don't mind. I was going to ask, actually, let me throw this out first. Name OK4230. Is there anything you'd like us to talk about? Any questions you've got for us?
Yeah.
You know, just throw it at us and we'll discuss it. So,
and to answer the other question you asked, how's my health? I had a scan 5 weeks ago and it shows that my cancer is progressing. I've got to have a biopsy, which I am not looking forward to at all, on Thursday morning, where they're going to take a sample from my groin area. They're going to go deep into my groin and take a lymph node from my groin and get it analysed to see if my cancer has transformed. And I'm not looking forward to that at all, because the last groinopsy I had was the single most painful experience I've ever undergone. and I've got to undergo it again on Thursday, and I'm really, really, really not looking forward to it in the slightest.
Are they able to put you out for that?
No, no.
No,
my chest condition precludes general anaesthetic.
Oh, of course. Oh,
so
Jesus.
I'm really, really, really not looking forward to this biopsy on Thursday morning. So it's going to hurt, and I'm not going to sleep Wednesday night. There's not many things that I'm terrified of, and I've got a very high threshold for pain, but I'll be a nervous wreck when I get into the into the department on Thursday morning, 10 o'clock. My biopsy is scheduled for. I will be absolutely shitting myself because I cannot explain. Sean was with me, and she'll tell you that she held my hand, and the pain was so bad that my whole body was shaking, and I nearly broke her hand. And I was pouring with sweat, and my whole body was shaking with this pain. This pain was just unbelievable. I've never experienced pain like it before,
Jesus.
ever. It was an internal pain.
Well, basically, it's because you're having a procedure that other people would be put out for.
They would put other people out for, but they can't because of my chest.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So you're having a procedure that basically other people would be able to have that, and you can't. So they know how painful it is, but you can't. But they have to do it to check, and it's
I had one done in my neck, and that was painful enough. And they, I'm sure if I remember rightly, they gave a local anaesthetic in it.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have a local, but that doesn't.
That made absolutely no difference.
Exactly.
That was only into my saliva gland behind me. But they went. I mean, to me, it felt as if they was trying to push it out the other side of my neck. Fair. In the end, they removed my saliva gland. So.
They threatened that with me once.
They cut from here all the way down to here.
Yeah. Which one did they remove? Behind your ear?
Yeah. Yeah. But they have to cut all the way down there and then fold the flat back, if you know what I mean. Yeah. There's just nerves that run down. In fact, this is still numb. This is 7 years later. It's still numb from where they damaged the nerve. But
did you have a blocked saliva gland then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a big lump.
This one here.
Yeah.
Oh God, probably 20 years ago or something, suddenly started like coming up.
Yeah.
And I had an ultrasound and things like that, and they found that there was nothing untoward or anything like this. They couldn't even see stones. So what they said is probably happening is that I'm producing like grit, and it's basically. So if I have a problem, I need to suck a lemon, literally. And I find that the problem gets worse if I eat something like chili. Sometimes lemon can set it off. And also if I get dehydrated, so if I like have too much to drink and then the next day I eat something acidic, I get it's almost like a quail's egg has been put under there. So, but they said that if it didn't work, sucking lemons and things, I'd have to have it removed. So
when they took mine out, they gave me an option. I could wait another 6 months or do it now. I said, well, what's the point in waiting another 6 months?
How long had you been suffering for before that?
I'd only probably noticed it about, probably 6 or 9 months.
Yeah, so
it was like a lump that was growing and growing and growing. It's like having a boil on your neck, but it was solid.
But exactly. So what's going to happen if you wait another 6 months? It's just get bigger.
Growing, isn't it? So yeah, I elected to have it out. The first time I went in, I had to be there at 5:30 in the morning. Got all prepped up, lay in the bed ready and that. They came to me at 12:30 and said, sorry, we ain't got time now, you can go home.
Oh, bollocks. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. Good on NHS.
Yeah.
Steve sat there looking all bored. Look.
Yeah, I thought he'd frozen there for a minute.
Sorry, what?
So take no notice.
I was going to ask Steve.
I was listening to Micky and thinking that I know what they were looking for when they did the neck biopsy. They were looking for what I've got, but luckily enough, he didn't have it.
I was laughing.
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Steve. Yes, that's what I was concerned with. Yeah. That's what I was concerned about.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, I mean, when was it? It might have been a few weeks, might have been the past couple of weeks. It came up on my memories on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, I put something similar to what you just said. That I'm relieved that it's a block saliva gland and not what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
Because with lumps, you don't know, do you? Which is why I went to the doctor in the first place.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Well, I'm glad you did. I always say that. I always say that, Micky. That the best thing you can do is if you've got an unidentified lump, go to the doctors. Which brings me nicely on to our next topic of conversation. Just
Can you switch me off a minute, please?
Yeah, hang on, Micky, hang on. There you go. I've switched you off. Changing the subject, right? I wanted to talk about steroids.
Oh yeah.
Now, I've been on high-dose steroids since January. On January, they put me on prednisolone, 30 milligrams a day. Now, I've been on 30 milligrams a day prednisolone because what I've got is I've got an enlarged spleen. You can't see it, but it's quite enlarged. Instead of being the usual 12 centimetres, it's actually 21 centimetres. And steroids are an anti-inflammatory, so they put me on a high dose of prednisolone, 30 milligrams a day. The problem with steroids is, especially that high dose, oh my God, it gives me the appetite of a horse. I have an absolutely ferocious appetite and I couldn't stop eating. So much so, Tracy, that I went from 80 kilos to 94 kilos.
Which in old money is about 2 stone, half stone.
14 kilos in pounds. Oh God knows, hang on.
No,
I can't work in old money. Sorry.
Well, working it off the top of my head, I think it's about 2 stone. I think.
Yes, I think it's about 2 stone because it's 2.2 pounds to a kilo. So
yeah, so about
14 kilos
stone.
would be about 28, be about 30 pounds, and it's 14 pounds to a stone. So over 2 stone I put on, just purely being on steroids. Well, now for the last 4 weeks, they've been weaning me off of steroids by gradually reducing my dose by 5 milligrams a week. So I went down to 25 milligrams for a week, and then 20 milligrams for a week, then 15 milligrams for a week, and this week I've been on 10 milligrams for the week. My appetite is gone.
Oh.
It's completely gone. I'm eating once a day. I mean, I've only eaten once today, and I had some bacon and eggs for my dinner this morning, or for my lunch, at 12 o'clock, and I'm not eating again today. Now, when I was on 30 milligrams of steroids, I'd have 4 meals in a day. I'd have breakfast, I'd have lunch, I'd have an evening meal, and then I'd have supper. But I'm not having any of that. I'm just eating once a day. And over this weekend, it really came home to me that I'd had my breakfast in the hotel, and then I wouldn't eat for the rest of the day. I wasn't hungry. And it's like now, I'm just not hungry. So I'm hoping that I'm going to lose some of this weight. It just goes to show you how steroids really do affect you. They're not anabolic steroids. They're not the ones that the weightlifters use. They're the other type.
Anti-inflammatory steroids, yeah.
And it just goes to show how much the steroids affected me. And I'm quite looking forward to losing the weight because these photographs that were taken over the weekend make me look like a right fat dip, which I am. I'm in at 94 kilos. My ideal should be 75 kilos.
Which is
75. I don't know. 100.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like.
I should be about 11 stone.
I was going to say about 11 stone because I was thinking you're about the same height as Andy, and Andy's supposed to be about 11 stone.
I'm supposed to be about 11 stone. Currently, I am, and I've got to convert it. So.
Oh, hang on. We're converting it for the American company. 11 stone is about 155 pounds. Yes. Yeah, 10 stone would be 140 pounds. Yeah.
I'm 15 stone.
Right, yeah.
I'm 15 stone. I should be 11.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lose all that.
Sorry, Klein643 on Reddit has asked a couple of times now. Sorry, Klein, we weren't ignoring you. It's just, the flow of the conversation. Do you guys like to go to the weddings? I guess you mean like weddings in general. Oh, Bovine Spongiform on Twitch says 11 stone is 154 pounds. So I was nearly right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can only work in Celsius and kilos.
But yeah, Klein643 on Reddit says, do you guys like to go to weddings?
I went to Tracy's wedding. No, I went to Tracy's wedding reception. I didn't go to the wedding. She wouldn't let me go on her honeymoon.
It was a bit far on a motorbike.
Strange.
Yeah, we were very restricted for numbers because of the actual lighthouse, because I got married in a lighthouse, so we were restricted for numbers in that. But it turned out in the end that a lot of the people that I'd invited didn't come anyway. So
I came.
But, no, I'm saying Mickey's trying to get your attention, by the way. No, I meant for the lighthouse bit, because the lighthouse could only hold something like, I think it was something like 60 people in total. I can't remember.
Married in a lighthouse.
I got married in a lighthouse.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you were the brightest light there.
Oh, thank you. I was in a very red dress. It was a very very flowy and very busty because it was a corset. But Dungeness, Kent, like the very bottom corner of Kent, is a place called Dungeness, and it's the only official desert in the UK. But it's not like it's not sand; it's like shingle banks and things. It's really nice. So it was the nearest I could get to getting married on a beach, and yeah, got married in a lighthouse. But being that type of venue, we were restricted on numbers, so I could only invite a certain amount of people to that. So Steve got invited to the evening bit, which was going to be the most interesting, important bit anyway, because everyone's having a drink and a laugh and a chat and everything. So, the most important bit is the legal bit, of course. But you know what I mean. Like, if you're going to be a guest, like get to the fun bit. Procopius69 on Reddit. Can we leave that for when Steve gets back from whatever he's doing? We'll answer that. But I just wanted to have Klein643 on Reddit is probably in reply to that. Did you dance? Well, I danced, and do you know what? I can't remember if Steve did. So when he comes back, he can answer that. I do know that like it was everyone enjoyed themselves. It was a really good day. So that doesn't really answer it very much. But when he comes back from whatever he's doing, fiddling about there, so. I see on Twitch we've got 5 people. We've been hovering between 5 and 6 viewers, which is pretty good actually, because that's double last Monday's. Oh, one of them just ran away then when I said it went down to 4. And I can't see what we've got on Reddit. Let me just have a look.
We've got 18 on Reddit.
Lovely, 18 watchers on Reddit. So hello, you're very welcome. Please ask us anything. Is there a topic of conversation that you want us to chat about? Is there anything you want to ask us specifically, our opinion or whatever? So, and that goes for you too on Twitch. And I think Steve's just come back because I can hear a noise of something. Yay!
Did I dance? Right. Okay. Right. There are 2 kinds of people that go to parties. Right, Klein. There are people that sit in the corner and are the most boring people in the world, or there are people that get the party going. Guess which I am.
You sit in the corner.
Fuck off, did I? Yes, I danced. I sang, and I generally made a complete tit of myself.
I don't do the dancing bit.
Oh, my dancing days are now over, Mickey.
I've got 2 left feet. I've always have done.
Oh, I can't dance. Right? I can't dance to save my life, and I can't sing. But none of that stops me.
I was actually very pleased with the disco person that we hired, because they set up while I was off getting married, and I'd given them like a general kind of, can we go from this to this to this, and obviously they knew what they were doing and everything, but they stuck to it quite well, and it flowed really well, because I said, can we, while we're eating, can we just have some general kind of nice background music, nothing too loud and overpowering? And then sort of like as it gets sort of further into the evening, sort of ramp it up. And I said, no Shania Twain, because I bloody hate Shania Twain. But yeah, they had.
I feel like a woman then.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like a woman. No, I just couldn't stand it. And,
Can I just interrupt?
Yes.
Procopius or Procopius 69.
Yes,
Alf was really not big in the UK. We're British. Alf really wasn't big in the UK.
It was okay, but I didn't get it.
It wasn't big. It wasn't watched, and I only did one series here. So most people in the UK have no idea what Alf is. It didn't float my boat.
Oh, it's a hairy puppy type thing.
Klein 643. I can slut drop like the best of them. I can really slut drop. Yeah. Steve. Yeah. I can slut drop like I could. I can't anymore. I mean, the most I could do is but now I can't. I can't. My dancing days are long gone. But I was. My killer move was the slut drop. And you've no idea what I'm talking about there, have you?